Yeah, hello to the foundational working group, foundational infrastructure working group meeting on 16th of October. So our agenda have some items added. Maybe we can start with the items on the agenda and then go over the PRs. So Noble default, there was some. I added this one because I saw Aram mention that some the PR we merged last time impacted some builds. Is there still something to be clarified or?
I think there, Ruben also, not Ruben, sorry. Ramon also noticed this the other day and said he didn't have a chance to look at it, but it seems like there are two Bosch deployment tests for Bosch Lite and Bosch Lite GCP. This may have changed since there have been some changes, but there are at least two builds read in the Bosch deployment CI. I don't think it's a reason for us not to keep going with the Noble, but we should tackle the rest of these failures soonish. I think most of the cases where it had caused failures in tests that rely on Bosch deployment are green, but I haven't looked recently. I've been a little distracted from
Me as
the Noble
well.
stuff.
I didn't have any time because I'm fully into the build back stuff now. So every time I have some little bit of time, I was like, oh, and then I can't find it quickly enough.
It feels like you're cheating, right?
it?
Like, yeah, you're not loyal to Bosch anymore, right?
I
Like
am loyal
like
to
your
Bosch.
priorities. Like,
I
where
know
are your
how many.
priorities?
Yeah, I just noticed that the BBL. I already created an issue for that. We are creating stem cell buckets like for the past year randomly with stem cell dash UUID. And we should figure out where it's coming from because it's just not good.
Okay, the question now, do we need to create issues to not forget this, or is it on?
Yeah, we should definitely figure out why Noble is failing now because it worked before, and now that I switched it over to Bosch deployment, it stopped working. So.
So, because we definitely will not forget this comment. So we need an issue in Bosch deployment about and stem cell Gemmy group still should stem cell Gemmy group still exist. Should stem cell group. And this is a good question, yeah. Most probably we need the stem cell Gemmy group and we should add a noble one.
Well, I don't think
No,
we're
because
deploying
the default,
we're not deploying with Jammy anymore.
Yeah, the default is Noble, so the extra what we now have, the extra thing is which makes the ops files is now called Jammy. Before it was Bionic, and now it is Jammy. I think that is reasonable because it makes the extra ops files for enable Jammy files.
So that means so you will rename it to Noble just.
No, it needs to stay Jammy unless we go to a new one and Noble is the old one.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I was not following that. I'll go ahead and open an issue with those first two errors. I think that I just looked at CI and they're still, those two builds are
Maybe
still
we need to
failing.
name it a little bit different, like stem cell ops Jammy or something, or
Yeah, I think that having a name that doesn't need to be changed every time we,
yeah, makes more sense. Yeah.
yeah.
It's basically
do you wanna-
n-1, right?
Yeah, do you want to write that one, Ramon, and I'll drop the issue for the CI failures.
Okay.
Okay, I created an action item about that. Okay, then novel bets failures in IPv6 spec.
Yeah, I just retriggered that. So the reason behind is that the Google CI, the Google CI is skipping multiple
Should I
manual
walk you-
networks.
Do,
Yeah,
do I
you could as well, yeah. So it's the same error that was in the Bosch director, which is now fixed. The reason is that the Google CPI is skipping tests that have the tag multiple manual networks. So we did not tag our tests for IPv6 for that because it's for tools tag. Now we tagged them. Yeah, so the director tests succeeded, and now I just retriggered that now when I saw that in the agenda. I was not aware that this is also failing here. So I think it should be green.
Okay. This is the Slack discussion about non-compressed releases.
So we had a bunch of
yeah.
PRs for the Go stuff, right? And this is basically saying we also need to do it in the director code base, right? There's
Needs to
also
happen in the director code base, and I think I'm going to propose. This is somebody from inside Broadcom who is wanting this. I think what I'm going to propose is that all of the CLI stuff be put into draft until the agent and the director support this fully. So then we can add a note in the help text for the CLI that says that any releases created with no compress will only work with a certain version of the Bosch agent and the director.
How much time is this going to save? Because CPU is for compressing and decompressing is
it's
have
about
I have
gigabytes, like
yeah
30 gigabyte, like one blob that's 30 gigabytes. It's insane.
yeah
Like it's basically a bunch of container images that are all just put in blobs, and there's no need to compress them and decompress them. You're just moving around files, and the compression thing is adding a lot of unnecessary time.
yeah. Plus the
Okay.
files themselves are already compressed, so you end up with effectively the same or worse file size.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just one. I didn't really follow it, so now I know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could maybe also ask or help Marin. I think it's Marin, right, driving this.
Yeah.
Like direct him also to the open source Slack, so he can like start participating in a discussion there.
Yeah, that seems also like a good plan.
and my understanding is that this is backwards compatible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dropping the compress flag on when decompressing, right? So then it will just auto detect. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually discovered that macOS's tar will happily take a Z flag and decompress a non-compressed file. But on Linux, if you pass -Z when the file is not a gzip file, it will fail.
Yeah, that could also
So-
be a solution. We just run the directors only on Mac OS
I
going
think that's a
forward.
great idea. I'll,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you could work on that for the next week.
I will ask my bot to look into it.
Okay. Doesn't have to be Mac OS. We could run it on OpenBSD.
If I'm gonna do anything, it's gonna be Nix OS based.
Or you could get a patch into tar. Maybe that's the right solution.
Yeah. Okay, I see. We have discussed this. One questions about the IPv6 stuff. Are we done with all the changes for that?
Not for the CPI, but for the director, I think it should now be complete. The CPI and acceptance tests are being enhanced. But regarding the director, by the way, so now the bot created a new hotfix release. I would say that should be a minor, right? Because this includes the whole prefix allocation feature.
Minor or major? Oh,
It's not a breaking change, but it does change the way it writes to the database. And yeah, and it's a new feature. So at least it should be a minor.
and with this is this network stuff. So pre-creating the networking interface is coming, which we've been.
That is the CPI. That's the CPI. There we are working because the bats are failing and there's an issue with the cleanup. If some that's a different story. But for the director itself, is fine.
Mhm.
So we are working on the CPI bats and seeing why when this ID VM ID not passed to delete VM, maybe you already saw the error. So we are trying to see why this is happening. But for the director, it's everything is green now. And yeah. Felix, do you think there's something missing in the director? I forgot about.
No, I
I
think
think-
it should be fine.
Yeah, I think the director part should be okay, and the CPI now is what we are working on. So it's working internally, but maybe in the bats there are other cases, or in the pipeline here there are other cases that we don't have it covered. So that is what we are looking into.
So you don't expect any changes in the CPI, only the bets.
Oh, we have to see why they are failing. We did not get to find
Okay.
out yet. So that's still in progress. Internally, it's working fine though, but we have to find out what's going on there in the
Yeah, it's due
pipeline.
to the VIP network type, because we don't have any of those internally. Yeah, we're investigating.
Mhm. Okay. Because we have the community tracking issue for this most, if you don't know that it is I can put so I was wondering whether we can close this because everything looks like merged or closed. And we forgot to add some.
Yeah, maybe the PRs are not up to date one, but
Yeah.
but I think we don't have a version anyhow in between, right? So not sure. So for example, there are also some edge cases. So right now that we create the network interfaces before we create do the deployment. For example, the cleanup is not working properly if there is a failure, which is so we have to make sure that we rescue our places so that the cleanup is happening, which is why you would see sometimes failures in the cleanup environment in the community CI, and that's because the network interfaces don't have tags naturally. It used to be deleted by AWS, and that's why when it tries to destroy the VPC or the subnet, then it finds out, oh, there is a network interface, and it cannot delete that anymore, and then it fails. So that's why also I'm keeping an eye on the leftovers. I clean them manually until because I think we have a maximum of 5 VPCs in the account, and until we solve this in the CPI so that it's able to catch up all the errors, so that it also cleans up the network interfaces and these edge cases that we have here. So that's still in progress. But also a hint that if you see 5 VPCs and the fail at the cleanup, you can do that manually until we have the CPI fixed.
Okay. So still some work to be done. Okay. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we go to the PRs?
Are we gonna keep the director as a hotfix for release, or what do you think, or do we do it a minor? Does it matter? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe minor makes because it's not we introduced new functionality which is backward compatible. Yeah, minor.
Thanks, yeah.
So,
Yeah, minor seems fine to me. I just want to go back to the SOX 5 proxy thing. I think I figured out the right PR, but maybe one of you folks in the community can double check that. I requested the right permissions for the bot to be able to commit there.
I merged that one this morning. Maybe it's already.
There was SOX 5 and then there was another one
Another one.
or Bosch agent index. Bosch agent index was another one.
Yeah, I merged the Bosch agent index one. Yeah, okay. I see this is a new
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will
Cool.
check.
Thank you.
Okay. It is taking a little bit time after merging. The automation needs around 6 hours to 8. And if it's when I merge, it's already running, then it waits until finish, and then so it can take.
Yeah.
Is it urgent or?
No, it's not urgent. It's fine.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure. I finally figured out how to make the right PR incantation in that branch protection, so I'll
Yeah.
probably have a few more of those because I think there are a few remaining repos that still use bot accounts.
What I do usually, there is here the README in the so here we have README for the automations and also for branch protection, and you actually can generate the branch protection rule locally, and then you can check what has been generated for your repository and just change this value, and the rest should be the same.
Okay.
Not this require and this one, I mean, enforce admins. Yeah, this one you have to check and change, and then the rest should be fine. But yeah, also checking the default branch of the repositories should do the work.
Yeah.
And copying. Yeah.
That's good. Ruben, maybe your assistant can rewrite this branch protection stuff in Rust so it goes faster.
It's more of a caching thing, I believe. It's the
All the APIs of GitHub there, because
Yeah.
for every repository we have to check every branch of it's more the GitHub repository. GitHub
Um,
API.
Maybe is it you already using the GraphQL API? Because sometimes you can like go faster that way because you can get nested resources in one call.
mm,
But anyway, like that's not
No,
up
I
to me.
don't. We are using the this Kubernetes tooling.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if that is
Oh,
using the
oh.
GraphQL database because that because rewriting to Rust is not gonna help, right? The bottleneck is the GitHub API, and to make
Yeah.
that more efficient, you need to do something with the GraphQL API.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm hearing is we should tell people to delete the stale branches also, which might speed things up.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's not so bad.
It's not us doing it. It's
Yes.
free internet things doing it for 6 hours. So it's
And we are still not getting rate limits from GitHub.
but yeah, that community repo is eating up a lot of. We don't have a budget, but like it's a lot of our usage in the whole community is the community repo and this automation. Like just burning hours of like waiting for, I don't know, the GitHub rate limits.
So there is, if we skip the archived repository, so there was some potential to optimize, but okay,
Yeah.
different topic. Do you have anything else for before we jump into the PRs? No, okay, then let's go to the dashboard. I think I have that open.
I mean, if we or can create a minor, then I guess we know what to put here, right? I think that's what was pending here.
Where in the so you need to update, so to say, the docs and then to
Yeah,
make
the
it
versions for the director and the CPI we need to put in here once they are
okay.
available so that it's really ready to be used. But still director is backward compatible, so it still can be or create a new release independently of the CPI, but the feature can only be made use of once the new CPI is also there.
Talking of that, if I delete the created hotfix release and I click a pump minor, it will be clever enough to know the difference, or
Is it published already on Bosch? Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure, but on at least on the releases it's there.
Which I own not because it runs again so long. The acceptance test it needs six hours or something.
Is the Bosch? Sorry, what? Bosch? You mean not?
It's already
Oh,
there.
it's already there. Wow.
Yes, it is because it's checking for the new Bosch release, which has been created.
Ah.
So I think if we decide for a minor, we have to revert to delete.
Did you do that before? So if I'm just wondering if I delete that manually and I trigger the CI, would it be clever enough to know the differences between the commits, or is it more than that?
We have to also revert the change in the what was this Bosch index.
Yeah, I think there's a meta index, meta file.
Index. I have to check. There is a repository which holds the index, and you have to revert there, and also in the Bosch repository, and then create a new release.
I mean, I just delete the release, right? Manually, or What do you mean revert?
There's a Bosch.io releases index.
And there is a release already in the Bosch repository. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You delete. So here should be already a Bosch release.
Ah, you mean this thing? Okay.
Yeah.
This is already here. Oh.
I mean, I'm also fine keeping it like that. I thought it would be a fast change. Okay.
It's not gonna be easy. It's easier to just roll forward and create another release that has basically the same content in it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it's more for communication purposes, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not a breaking change, but you want to signal to people that are reading, like going to the releases tab, right? And then have like about a bunch
Exactly.
of
That was the
information in
idea.
there. So I
Yeah.
would just roll forward. It's gonna be
Mm.
hard to remove this from the internet. It's on the internet now, right? Like stuff
Yeah.
never dies
Yeah.
there.
Some
Yeah.
robots are using maybe.
This release will forever haunt you.
For the future, one way to handle sequencing like this is to pause the auto release job until everything comes through, and then you can bump the version, and then you can unleash that, like unload that, like unpause that job and let the automation flow through.
And where do I see this auto release? Because here it is. Okay, automatically
Yeah.
release new batch. Okay, that
Yeah.
one. Okay, I actually noticed that when I saw it on the internet already. So I was wondering.
Yeah.
That was fast. Okay.
Okay, we have agreement that we go forward and release a minor version update, and it's not optimal, but yeah, it's.
Can the same happen for the AWS CPI? Because there, kind of the creation of the network interface beforehand is a breaking change, because people need to change their instance profile policies or IAM policy, the permissions. So just wondering if something automatically could happen like this for AWS CPI, then we might suppose something for that for the moment.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
sure
that the
they're.
breaking change is in the. I mean, there's a breaking change part there in the CPI, but there's also the Bosch deployment repo, right? Do we do versioning there, right? Or not? I would that's what takes the director and the CPI together, right? And that's what people actually consume. Never mind, we don't do releases there. That's something CF deployment does, not Bosch deployment, apparently. So Bosch deployment is more of a YOLO release strategy.
There's one tag.
There's definitely one tag. Yes.
Might
Is
be
it used?
something we want to
But
Oh, the
look
last
at.
Xenial. That's a tag. That seems recent.
But it makes sense to also pause the auto release on the AWS CPI, right? Because that would be a major, I assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably better there.
Yeah. I would just pause it. Yeah, otherwise I would forget.
By the way, I figured out we can merge into master, which we should not. We should always be merging into develop.
Also, Ahmed, it might be good to put a comment on the pause job just with your initials, so folks don't.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. Joseph.
Yes, I
Don't
wanted to
unpause.
ask that, yes.
But Ruben, did you already check that or not? Why are we allowed to? Humans should not be allowed to merge into master for Bosch deployment.
Bosch deployment? Yeah, that's the I don't know. That's just the branch protection rules that are wrong then. Yeah, currently for master it's set to require one approval, and if you have that, you can just merge. So that should not be the case. It should be set up differently.
I think we're gonna merge this one, right? Or still waiting for the other the other four people who were not responsive.
Seems fine. Nobody seems concerned about this.
Things should be fine. I think that will be done separately from net, but I think the PR itself is ready to be merged. So it just needs review. You're muted. I don't know if someone is talking.
Beyhan, you're muted.
Ah, it's nice. So,
Everybody agrees with you.
Yeah, it was a
I
good point. Thanks for bringing it up.
Okay. So this one, Aram, you said you asked to convert to draft until
Yeah, I think on the Bosch CLI, this should be converted to draft. I can write a note in here and
Mhm.
yeah, and we can we can move this. The other ones, there's another PR in Bosch Utils, which I think is, well, that's not safe to merge yet because,
This one.
yeah. It's also failing, so.
I will put a section item just to notice that we
Cool.
Okay, okay, and then still needs a review, but I think you clarified here. But, so this is pending review then. No
There
more
was there was something about foundation next week at the bottom.
It's what?
If you're still blocked by Thursday, foundational work is open.
Oh, I think switching to
Yeah, I think this is passing on local CS. I think we can merge this. Ruben, you have a corollary that should fix.
Yeah, I saw your comment in the other PR.
Yeah.
Just my robot is currently undergoing some brain surgery, so not working.
So, Aram, you mean you are fine with this? You can approve, and then okay, you are.
Yeah, I just approved. I think we can put this through. It fails on Windows 2025, but we don't have a Windows 2025 stem cell that we're consuming, so it doesn't that we're producing or using. So I don't think it impacts us. It would be great if we can get the stuff that Ruben's working on fixed, or I could try that fork and run with it. I don't know, do you? How long is your brain surgery going to take, Ruben?
Well, it was currently undergoing, like, as we speak, as in there's another bot fixing the bot. It's like turtles all the way down. I don't know. I will probably soon-ish TM.
Great.
Here we suggested last time the backup and restore SDK release. So we have the question, is there something else that I cannot see? And why a separate package is used? So this is
I think he was replying to Ruben here. If we really need to change it, because he said that they are one-to-one match except for the OpenSSL functionality.
yes, but this means you need to use backup and restore.
Yeah, the question is why? Is there a reason why we would need that rather than doing it
Why
here?
to use the SDK as release? There was reasons. I think it was more historical reasons that people working on BBR were not like, so not all the things supported BBR from the start, right? And then this SDK release was there so you could add BBR support to things that didn't support it. And in this particular case, I don't know. Are they using? So what are they? Where are they running this from? Where in which release does the BBR script live?
In
Is it in the Bosch direct? There's not in the Bosch director
in the
release, right?
backup and restore SDK release.
No, I know, but like they are invoking a backup from where?
From the
That's
Bosch director, yeah.
Bosch
Yeah, I know,
director.
but is it in the Bosch director release? I don't think so,
Yes.
right?
No.
Is it?
So the,
So what we're trying to do is we're doing a PG dump, and then we want to do a PG restore to an external database, which needs this SSL support. And then we directly call this var vcap thing PG restore bin PG restore, and that only works if Postgres was compiled previously with OpenSSL. And we have a workaround. We are currently copying the PG dump file to another environment where it's compiled with OpenSSL, and then we're doing it from there. But yeah, this was our effort to make it directly work from the Bosch director.
I'm just like there's nothing upstream exercise like in this code base exercising that particular code path, right? Because it seems like you're building something bespoke that you happen to run on the director where
Yes.
you run into this, right? And that's why I'm saying you need something. It doesn't make
Different.
sense. Yeah, right. Like
Mhm.
it's about the boundaries of the Bosch director Bosch release, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not functionality exposed in there, so then we can add this, but then we might break you because we don't know that this is something we do, right? Or support. So that's why I was referring to that other release, because that one was particularly made for that specific reason, right?
Mhm.
To just provide these binaries for other releases to use. Alternatively, you could try to make your solution more generic and submit it upstream, right? And then that is, if it's in the director code base and we have like a BBR backup to an external database that we support in the upstream, then it makes sense to add this.
Mhm. Get it. Okay.
So it's not about like the change. The change is really small, right? It's about the API contract, basically. What are we
Yeah.
who is supporting who and why?
Yeah. For normal Bosch operation, it's not needed. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because when you're using this, the Bosch director Postgres is always co-located, right? So then there's never this use case.
Exactly.
the BBR SDK is probably the right place to put it, given that the backups.
It's already there.
Yeah.
That's the point, right? Like that's why I was referring to it, and like that one already is compiled. The client Postgres client in there already has the SSL flagged, so you can just start using that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So Felix, you will talk to Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that tomorrow.
Okay.
We can also write a comment then and close it.
So we looked into this. So this is ready for review. We have to speed up a little bit. I think support for Alex. Okay, this is still work in progress, looks like. Waiting for changes. Or pending days one review, maybe. Right. We can. We talked about this one.
Yeah, this is AI. We don't review that.
Yes, we accept. We merge next week the RFC, which we will not allow anymore.
So you're saying there's a bit of urgency with getting this in.
Is this
I've
ready
been-
for review, Ruben?
No, the checks were failing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not.
Okay.
I will point the bot at fixing the checks, and then we'll see. Yeah, don't pay too much attention. I'm just trying to see if it already can be a useful citizen, right? And do these things where we haven't, like, nobody wants to do the work or nobody has time to do the work, but we feel like it needs to be done, and then I want to see if this thing can actually help and be useful.
Okay. I will assign people to this. Someone wants to say something about this, or?
It's again Azure specific, I think.
Yes.
And I don't work with Azure, so I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe we should ask this person to become an approver.
Yes, I talked to him. Yeah. I checked he has enough contributions.
He basically rewrote the Azure CPI with all the stuff that he committed.
So this is what is the difference with the previous? This one is to ignore, and the other one was also. This is in the stem. He needs changes in the stem cell. Sorry.
Yeah, and the agent and the stem cell apparently. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Azure CPI is we have one so approval, but most probably someone from us should also here.
Seems fine to me, given the Azure expert.
By the way, I saw Ansh was assigned to the last PR, but he's not part of our team anymore.
We can wait until to see if he still wants to do something on the side. I don't know.
he's not doing anything right now. He can do it perfectly fine.
This is just so you mean we can merge this one. Maybe it's adding, and the rest are all specs which we manage here, and so this is just adding the preservation group ID as properties, and then passing that through. Yeah. Okay, too much this one. I think we need another. This is the documentation. We have. So there also change request which is already done. But we can still re-request waiting for pending review.
Ooh, PivNet. I wasn't able to deploy that pipeline then because Concourse will complain.
I reflew the pipeline and it was not a problem. It's an unused resource type, not a resource that's consumed. So I think it should be fine.
Again, normally when there's unused resources, the fly will complain.
Yeah, it's not resources, yes, but not resource definitions.
Oh, resource types. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that too. I was confused and then realized that.
Okay. Okay, on the issues. So we talked about this. Something is creating stem cell. So it's so this needs to be checked.
Yes, it's super weird. So if someone has the time, please do. Otherwise, it seems already been happening for a few months. So
Yeah, this is an internal report from Broadcom. I'm hoping that they'll maybe PR a change in for this, but I don't know that Docker CPI is being used much outside of some internal teams.
Okay, so you are looking into this, Aram. So
Yeah, I would maybe mark this in open for contribution.
yeah, okay. I think the rest is old. We have 1 minute. We can check the promotions. So we waited here. We didn't get an answer about the bot. I will say we can merge this one, and I will notify the people to open new PRs. They to be so that they can be re-added again. And so the automation will be happy with this. So Ruben, or I need one approval. And here's one about Clay to get approval for the BBR and storage CLI.
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, I already approved. I think Ruben is just trying to this is approved. Okay.
Yeah, well, should be approved now.
This one is. And this is all. I think this still has some. Is Yuri from the Bosch team? I don't know.
Yes.
Still in draft mode, and the CLA is not signed, but you can follow up with him.
Yeah.
Okay, we are done. Almost on time. Is anything else you want to discuss?
Not right now.
Oh, okay, then thank you for your time. Take
Thanks.
care and see you next time. Yeah. Bye bye.
Thanks
Yeah.
for running, Beyhan.